Hello and welcome once again to Schenectady Online. I'm Joe Kelleher. It's a pleasure to have you here for yet another week with lots and lots of information to talk about for the city of Schenectady. First, I want to start off and say thank you to you, the people of the city of Schenectady and beyond who watch us from all over the planet. We truly appreciate your viewing us. We truly appreciate you stopping by. You know, there's a lot of things that you could be doing, and we appreciate you taking a few moments out of your day. If you're watching us live, or even if you're watching us in the evening, it really means a lot to find out what's happening right here in our little city of Schenectady of 60 some odd thousand people, to let you know what's happening from here. Schenectady, of course, a lot of history right over here. It's the city that hauled and light the world right here with GE, American Locomotive, the railroad, the waterways around this area over here. A lot of history right here in the city of Schenectady, and we're hoping to do much more with it in the coming years. Lots and lots to talk about, as you can imagine. Of course, the election is only, 34 days away. And with that, you're starting to see more and more campaign ads on the air. You're starting to see more and more signs out and about. And of course, seeing the people out campaigning too. You know, it means a lot. And in the local elections especially, and I talk about this with a lot of folks who I get an opportunity to talk to. One vote can make all the difference in the world. It really can, especially in these local races. One vote can win an entire election. We've seen it in Malta, we've seen it in other municipalities, and it can happen this year right here in the city of Schenectady. We'll have two races, of course, both two for city council seats. The one city council seat that terminates at the end of 2015, and the other one that ends at the end of 2017. So we've got two races going on here, and so there's a lot of excitement, a lot of things happening over this way. Please take an active role and take a part of it. This is your city. This is my city. We need to make things happen. And I'm going to tell you about some things that are happening here too. Some very exciting stuff that we just discovered today, and we'll be talking about that in a few minutes. Right now, I want to talk to you about a couple of other things that are happening here in the city of Schenectady. As you may or may not have seen in some of the city council meetings, and you've seen lots of things happening up over there. If you haven't, I encourage you to go and take a look at the city council meetings. You can find them on their YouTube channel, Schenectady City Council. Just amazing things that happen up over there. You hear from both sides of the aisle, and please take the opportunity to do so. You being informed is the best tool that this city can have. You speaking your mind or talking to the people who can speak for you on your behalf is your best tool to make things happen here in the city of Schenectady. Now, one of the things that's been happening, we got word today that several of the convenience stores in and around the area, we know of two in Central State Street area that have closed today. These are ones that have had multiple citations against them. These are ones that have been open and not have been good neighbors to the surrounding homes that are in the area. These aren't in business areas. These are ones that are in residential areas, right in the middle of residential areas, and have been causing some problems. And today we've discovered that they have been shut down, and it's about time. And what happened because you, the people, we, the people, got up to city council and voiced our concerns. The planning commission came to the city council with proposals, and this all happened because we, the people, made it happen. And you should be very proud of yourselves, as I'm proud of all of you and all of you who have spoken to make all this happen. We are increasing the quality of life here in Schenectady, and we're doing it from the people making their voices be heard. Keep up the good work, do your homework, and talk to the people that can make the difference. They are here for you. Make them do the work. They want to do it for you. They want to hear from you. And think of it this way. The city is a business, okay? And if you take a look, it is incorporated and it is a business. The people that run it, the city council, are the board of directors. They have a manager, that would be the mayor, okay? He manages the organization, but the board of directors, the city council, are the one that takes care of all the big stuff. They have the 10,000 foot level, if you will. Okay, so they're the ones that can trickle down information. They're the ones that can trickle down where they want monies to go, where they want all the focus on public safety and public security. So those are the people that you want to make sure that we get you talk to. Those are the ones that can make the things happen, or they can make it not happen too. So make sure that your voice is heard. One of the things I want to talk about now is one of the things that I am so passionate about, and Vince Riggi has stated also on his Facebook page on several occasions, is seeing the signs out on public places. Now, I spoke at City Council the last time that they were in session back a couple weeks ago. And what I had mentioned was seeing some of these locations where these signs were in public areas. Now, as you know, pardon me, or as you may have heard, city signs, campaign signs are not allowed on public property. They're not allowed on publicly owned property. They are only allowed on private property. And you must have the permission of the property owner to have those signs on that property. But let's focus for a moment on that, on the issue about being on the public property. It's come to my attention, and that, well, people fed information to me that certain people who are campaigning for their jobs have been given some special permission by the mayor to have these signs on public property. And if that's the case, and I'm not saying that it's true, this is only information that's come to my attention and information that I've heard. If it's true, then Mr. Mayor, we need to sit down and really have a discussion, because it's not the mayor's say to say that campaign signs are allowed to go on public property by anybody's special permission. And if it's not true, then Mr. Mayor, somebody's throwing you under the bus right along with themselves. So be cautious and be aware. Do you know that if you see a sign on public property, you, as a resident of the city of Schenectady, have the right to take that sign down? You don't necessarily have to return it, okay? But Vince Riggi, I know, has talked to me about some of these people who have been taking these signs and returning them over to the police department. And the police department gets loaded up with these signs. Well, eventually the police department is going to have to step in and say something to these candidates or the candidates committees who are putting these signs out on the wrong places and where they don't belong. We have enough litter on the side of the roads. You will notice that none of my signs are out on any public property. They're all on private property. And I have a very difficult time supporting someone who is going to go out there and break the law in order to get their job. It's not, it can't happen, okay? We need to make sure as the city residents that those kind of things don't happen, and the people that do that are held accountable for it. That's our job. We need to hold our city officials accountable for the actions that they take, or the actions that the people report to them take. It's their job. Let's take a look at something else going on in the city. We've talked about the shelter, the animal shelter. Things seem to be calming down a little bit with that. We've had some good feedback from the ag and markets. The commissioner has given his reports. Jack Falvo has given his reports. And so far, we see some progress being made. And we appreciate the police department for their efforts in that. It's really, we're starting to see something happen down over that way. And again, I can't say it enough. This is all because all of you are out there speaking on the behalf of those who can't speak for themselves and making a difference. Every time you go up there to city council, you make them listen. Those are the folks who you report to, they report to you actually, okay? It's not you reporting to them. You elected them to do a job. You need to hold them accountable to do that job properly. If they don't, then you have the opportunity to what? Vote them out. You're absolutely right. Let's keep moving right along, shall we? So with the election coming up, you've got a lot of opportunities to meet your candidates. Take the opportunity to get informed. Now, there was one event that I went to over in the Woodlawn area, and they had their meet the candidate night for the Republican candidates last month in September. This month, you'll have the opportunity to meet the Democrat candidates for city council, for judge, for legislature, assembly. I'm not quite sure which ones are going to be there. You'll find out when you get there. But you'll see lots of ads around and about for some of these campaign events that are coming up. You can certainly meet the candidates at the Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association and Bellevue Preservation Committee's event that's coming up on Thursday, October 9th at 7 p.m., pardon me. That's at St. Paul's Episcopal Church over on Fairview Avenue up in the Bellevue area. So also the League of Women Voters is having their Meet the Candidate night. That's happening on Wednesday, October 8th, 7 to 9:30 p.m. at the Schenectady High School's Black Box Theater. So make sure you stop by. I'll be at both of those events too, and I'd appreciate it if you just say hello and mention that you saw us on SAC TV's Schenectady Online. Would really mean a lot. Now, along with a couple of other events happening later on that next month, which we'll get to in just a little bit. The end of October, you'll have the Tri-Neighborhood Association, and that's actually 3 neighborhood associations, 12309 Eastern Avenue and Central State Street. That happens the last Tuesday of the month on October the 28th, 7 p.m. at the McClellan campus of St. Ellis Hospital, and you'll see the signs over there for the in the meeting room. So go to the conference room over that way and stop by, meet your candidates. They'd be more than happy to talk to you and hear from you. What are your concerns, folks? I want to know what your concerns are for the city of Schenectady. I can sit here and talk about all kinds of things, and I'm going to sit back and relax and talk with you very frankly here for a few minutes. Just as I was coming into the studio over here, a gentleman from the Stockade area stopped by and saw me outside, and we talked over on the park and the sidewalk for a couple of seconds. And he asked about what was happening with the police department. He asked about how things were going with campaigns and wanted to know some other information that was going on. And so he brought that information to me, and I was able to pass that along. One of the things that was asked was what was happening with our chief, Brian Kilcullen, with him residing here in Schenectady, and what was his status. To be very honest with you, I don't know, but I will make every effort to find out, and I can certainly report that back to this gentleman as well as back to all of you too. Vince Riggi has been a phenomenal resource for me to gather up information and get back to those of you who have contacted me with all your questions. Quite often, he has his finger more so on the pulse because he's already a city councilman, and he's right on top of things. He really is. He's a very valuable resource. He's one of the folks on there who has the best interest of the people of the city of Schenectady in mind. And that's rare to see in someone in a position like that. And it's nice to see. And I would be proud and very happy to be on his side and sitting beside him at City Council and to be there. But even if I don't get that opportunity, I'm still going to be up there at City Council and talking on your behalf. So keep sending your thoughts, your ideas. You can always reach me by phone. If I don't pick up because I'm working or something, please leave a message. The number you can call me on is area code 518-406-6487. You can send an email to joe@kelleherforcouncil.com, and also visit my website too. You can find me on Facebook. And believe me, I'm happy to hear from you. Really, I want to find out what your issues are, find out what your concerns are, and then give me a little bit of time to do the research and get back to you. And I will. I promise that I will. If you don't hear from me within a few days, please bear with me and send me another email or leave me a note. And just remind me to get back to you, because sometimes things can get a little busy. So I appreciate you taking the few moments out of your evening to listen to this and let me know what your thoughts are. And we all have busy schedules. None of us, or very few of us, I should say, are getting raises in our paychecks too. And in seeing the latest proposed budget for the city of Schenectady, do you know that the city's looking at imposing a 2.91% increase in our taxes? Yeah, it's true. It may only seem like a little bit, but you know what? The 3% increase, and I'm going to round it up because we got to keep it, it's easier to work with those even numbers for all of us. If we look at a 3% increase this year, we had an increase a couple years ago. A few years before that, what happened was they took the trash fees that were taxed in with the property taxes altogether, took that out, made it a separate fee, and kept the taxes the same. Well, what does that do? We're still getting an increase in our taxes. So it's a shell game, it's a smoke and mirrors game, whatever you want to call it. But if we get nickel and dimed every year, year after year, somebody's not doing their job. We can't, it's unsustainable. If this were any other organization or any other company, we would have to cut back. Some places would have to cut back. They would be forced to cut back. We don't have a choice anymore. The way that the city's going right now, with the new budget that they have in place, or the proposed budget, I should say, if we increase this more, it's going to be more out of our pockets, and more people that I talk to when I go around this city are getting more and more fed up, and they're ready to pack up and leave the city of Schenectady. And then what happens? Let's say that happens for a few moments. If we get 1,000 people leave the city of Schenectady, there's 1,000 people that their tax dollars fall back on those of us who remain behind. That's what's happened since there was 120,000 people here before, and half of those folks left. The burden is on those who remain behind. Now, I know I mentioned this in previous episodes, but we've got 66,000 people now here in the city of Schenectady. 80% of those people are in some kind of public assistance. Did you know that? That leaves that entire burden onto those of us who make over a certain salary and do pay the taxes. Now, something else that was brought to my attention by someone who shall remain nameless right now, but reminded me that this is something that I talked about before, is that we still have, just in parking fines alone, $3.5 million that's pending. All this needs to be done is enforced. Once we enforce these things, okay, things will come back a little bit for us, okay? If we start collecting on some of these, we can start doing a lot more, and guess what's going to happen? We start collecting on these fines, and our taxes are going to eventually start to go down, start to go down, start to go down. That's just on parking violations alone. If we take a look at the citations that people are issued for code violations around their homes and their businesses, we start collecting on those, you're probably looking at another couple $1 million. Right there, let's say, for just out of argument's sake, let's say it's $6 million. It's likely a lot more, but I'm going to say $6 million. This city could go pretty far with an extra $6 million in their pocket. And you spread that amongst those of us who are paying taxes, how much do you think that would lower our taxes? by simply enforcing and collecting on the fines. It won't take much. If we take a percentage of that, and I've mentioned at the city council on several occasions, if we just take an opportunity to go to a collection agency and we pay, let's say we pay 15, 20%. 20% on $3 million, you're talking 200,000. So we're still collecting about $2.8 million. That'll work. We could use that, I think, or $2.6 million. I think that'll work. You know, that'll help us out a lot. But we have to make the effort to do so. They've been outstanding, and yeah, some of these things we may not be able to collect on, like ever, because they've been sitting for so long. But it'd be interesting to find out the statute of limitations on that, wouldn't it? Maybe that's something I can look into and find out for the next time when we come along. So lots and lots and lots to talk about, as you can see here in the city of Schenectady. There's always something going on. We have some great events happening, and I want to tell you about some of the other things that are coming up here too. I want to, as much as I have so much to talk about, if I start on all these other topics, we're going to be here all night long. But you know, I did have a meet and greet over at Arthur's Market just this past weekend. And so I want to thank Richard Genest again for holding that for me. I want to thank Bob Barnes, my running mate, for coming out and saying a few words and meeting the folks that were there. We had a very nice, intimate crowd there, and we had some great entertainment. And very special thanks to the man who provided all the entertainment. And you know him here from SAC TV. It's my good friend Joe Sinatra. Joe, thank you so much. Always great to have you and always great to see you. Thank you so much for all you do for me and for my campaign. It really means a lot. And even beside that, and before I was running or anything else, you and I have become friends. And I truly appreciate all that you do for me, for the city of Schenectady too. The Falvo Foundation really thanks you a lot too, I'm sure. Jack, all the best of luck to you with Jack's Place. It's a phenomenal thing that you do. Folks, if you don't know about Jack's Place, find out about that, really. If you've heard of an organization, it's kind of like an organization like the Ronald McDonald House, where families can come in and stay and have a place to stay that's in a home-like atmosphere and be close to their loved ones who are at Sunnyview Rehab or the hospital right here in the city of Schenectady. And what a phenomenal thing. And the background behind it would bring tears to your eyes. It really would. It does every time I learn more about it. Let me tell you about some other events that are coming up here. The Harvest Festival, of course, is happening next weekend, and you'll find that in Upper Union Street. So make sure you stop out at that. That's going to be a lot of fun. On the 19th of this month, it's Sunday the 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. I think we're doing it. Is that right? Over the American Legion? Yeah, something like that. 2 to 4, 2 to 5, 2 to 5. They're having a spaghetti dinner, the American Legion Riders, and all the proceeds from that will go to benefit our local veterans. They have meatballs donated by Gershon's Deli. And of course, Maria, Joni, thank you guys. We love you so much. Thank you for donating. They're going to donate the bread. Pareca's Bakery is donating bread. So just between Gershon's and Pareca's alone, it's going to be worth the $10 that you spend, because not only are you getting a fantastic meal, it's all going to benefit our local veterans. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. Also coming up this month on October 18th, going on at, I think it was 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, but I can let you know next time. I think I have another show scheduled before that happens. The Hamilton Hill Neighborhood Association Awards Dinner is going to be at the Hibernian Hall. You can get the tickets are $20. You can even contact them and get an ad in their program if you still like to, and it's a great opportunity. I was at the awards dinner that they had last year, and these are for the folks that do all the wonderful things and making progress and building Hamilton Hill back up again, and they're doing a fantastic job. And Marva Isaac, we love you very much. Thank you for all that you do for the Neighborhood Association in Hamilton Hill. You can contact Vicki for more information at 372-6469. That's 372-6469. Also coming up, I have to tell you about this. I got this big cardboard thing over here. You can find this online. And Randy, I know you can't zoom in on this over here, but folks, if you can make it out to this event, we would love to see you. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's the SAC TV 40th anniversary and Halloween party. It's happening on Friday, October 24th, 7 to 11 p.m. at the Schenectady Veterans Building, 718 Union Street, right here in the city of Schenectady. $30 a person, includes dinner that's catered by the Villa Tuscan Grill. Thanks so much. We appreciate that, Peter. You guys do a fantastic job for us anytime. Dancing, prizes, and entertainment by who? Yep, that guy, Mr. Joe Sinatra. He's going to be out there again. You're going to have some great singers. Now, this says on here, costumes encouraged, but really, wear a costume. You'll have a lot of fun. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, because Linda and I have ours already, and believe me, it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. For tickets and information, you can purchase them online at www.sacc.tv, or you can call 831-9145. Schenectady Access Cable Council is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, an organization, and we would love to see you there. You're going to see a lot of the talent from here from over the past 40 years on SAC TV, and we would love to have you there. It's going to be a great time, and please come. If not for the talent, for the great dinner, for the talent you will see there performing, for the awards. It's going to be a wonderful evening out with some fantastic people. I have time for just a couple more things. Is there anything else that we're forgetting about? I think we got everything right for the most part. Joe, anything you wanted to add? We're all good there? Linda? Did I cover everything? I'm glad. Because it's nice to have this little studio audience here that's off camera and I can talk to and bounce ideas off of, because I want this to be a venue that's more comfortable and it's relaxed, that we can talk with a smile on our faces, not get angry, not get upset. You know, we've got enough of that. And I am very thankful. God has brought me to this city and given me a wonderful wife and wonderful friends. And I feel so blessed to be here. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you for inviting me into your rooms, on your TV, on your iPads, your tablet device, whatever you happen to be watching me on, in your living room, in your home. I appreciate you watching us. Stay tuned and watch some of the other great programming here on SAC TV, and really you'll benefit by it. Take your time with it and learn a little bit more about the city of Schenectady and all the great things that it has to offer. On behalf of my lovely bride, who she and I will be celebrating our 2nd anniversary coming up later on this month. On behalf of SAC TV, I'm Joe Kelleher. Thank you for visiting Schenectady Online. It's been a pleasure having you here once again. Take care. Good night.